Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at the impossible quest for Memento Mori. And gimmicks here are gravity barriers and then mines, but they're not the standard mines, they are the stick-on mines. So here we'll see the robots throw out these mines and then they will attach themselves to Ashura. And then, yeah, this is important because characters with flight will not get any use out of that power in this mission. It has to be a Minesweeper. And then, yeah, everybody has to have no gravity barrier, but not everybody needs to have Minesweeper necessarily. We can see that I have two characters with Minesweepers and two without. And then the reason why having Minesweepers is important is because certain monsters have multipliers on them, where they can only be taken down with a character holding a mine. The mines have some crazy multiplier on them. And so we want to get as many mines as possible onto the guys with Minesweeper. But then the characters without mines, they can actually help with this. Because if a stick-on mine is thrown on them, then actually they will act as kind of like a storage unit for that single mine. And then if that character touches a character with Minesweeper, the mine will transfer to the Minesweeper, and then the Minesweeper can use that to do extra damage to people that have the multiplier. And then to talk real quick about the team that I'm using, first I'm using Ashura, the impossible monster. And she is one of the best monsters for this quest. Not even just best drop monster, just best monster, period. She's got no gravity barrier and Minesweeper. And then she's got a very high attack, so anytime she picks up a mine, she'll do even more damage. And then she has a strong strike shot, which does set damage, which can get around these defenses, so she can do good damage even without a mine. And then she has a bump combo, which until now I thought was useless. It's a rebound spread shot, which does very little damage. But actually it's very useful for this mission, because sometimes the robots will go into counterattack mode, and then if you hit the monsters while they're in that mode, they will shoot out even more mines onto your guys. And yeah, since you want as many mines as possible on your guys, being able to use that bump combo to easily hit the robots when they're in counterattack mode is a great benefit. And yeah, Ashura is one of my, well, not know what... I really like Ashura, so I was really happy to see her kind of shine in this mission. And then to talk about which monsters have multipliers on their defense or not, everybody here now, the onions and then the robots, they have that multiplier. So unless we hit them with a mine, we will not take them down. And then the two little guys that are not on the screen anymore, the Spritzer and the Gaia, they don't have that multiplier, so we can take them down with regular attacks. And then the onions, they will revive each other every turn. So we need to hit them all on the same turn, with one mine for each, at least. So yeah, that makes this mission pretty tricky. Probably the most difficult part of the mission. But if you can kind of position your Minesweepers near the robots, that will increase the chance that they will have the mines thrown on them from the robots, and so make it easier to get more mines and then take down the onions all in one turn. Alright, to continue to talk about the team that I'm using, next I'm using Izanami 0, and it's not necessary to use Izanami 0. She's not as good in this mission as Ashura is. You could really use any fire character with no gravity barrier, but she has a few benefits to her. One is high speed, so she can transfer the mine on her more easily to her teammates. She also has a Sprite Slayer, which works on the Spritzer that we see there in the center bottom. And then she has a bump combo, the Meteor Struction, which can take down one of the guys, either the Gaias or the Spritzers. And then she's got a Strike Shot, the Rebound Laser Strike Shot, which, if concentrated, could do good damage again to the Spritzer or Gaia, or on the drones that we sometimes see. But yeah, in her place you could use the regular Izanami, or like a Soul Wing, or really anybody with a fire null gravity barrier. Alright, well, let's talk about this next stage here. There's no little onions, but instead we have one big onion. And so what we want to do, we want to leave the robot alone so it keeps throwing mines onto us. And then we want to get rid of the little guys at the bottom so that they do no damage to us. And then, once we have some mines, we can do some damage to the big onion up there. Alright, I decided not to do that angle with Apollo, because I would have bounced back and then hit the mine robot with a mine. And that would have taken it out, and so that would have meant less mines for my guys in later turns. And yeah, that's really one of the most important things about this mission, is to make sure you do not take down the mine robots. And so having a couple characters that are minesweepers and then a couple characters that are not is an advantage. So the characters without Minesweeper, they will have a little bit more freedom of movement because they don't need to worry about hitting the mine robot. But yeah, as the little guys and the drones get revived, we'll just take them down, keep picking up more mines, and then do damage to the mini-boss. And then a lot of players, including JP players, they find this mission kind of annoying. Kind of managing your mines, you know, and then choosing your angles very carefully. It can be time-consuming and annoying if it doesn't go your way. But for whatever reason, I actually like this mission. It somehow, I don't know, kind of fits my style of play. I like missions where you need to be, you know, very careful with your positioning and stuff. So maybe this is a part of why I like this one. Okay, so there I used Ashura's Strike Shot. Didn't get any damage on the boss, unfortunately. We took down the Gaia and then the drone. If I were to do it again, I would have not used my Strike Shot there. But it is a long mission, so you can feel free to use Strike Shots on this stage, and then you will definitely have the Strike Shots later on in the mission. Okay, Ryoma, we used his attack to do damage to the little guys and then take down the drone there. All of the drones, they do cover up the weak points of the boss, so we do want to get rid of them. Alright, here's a poison homing beam. Doesn't do a lot of damage though, so don't need to worry about that one too much. But yeah, basically this stage is just about keeping up the pressure with the damage. With the Minesweeper guys, of course, we will do damage to the boss. And then with the non-Minesweeper guys, we will focus on taking down the little guys and then the drones. So yeah, the roles for these different characters is pretty well defined, so... but actually, Ryoma, with his Woodslayer, he does so much damage that in a pinch, he can do some decent damage to the boss. That should only be used as a last resort, or if he has nothing else to do. Okay, so there we got one mine into the boss's weak point, so that's where that good damage came from. And actually, I think I remembered one of the reasons why I really like this mission. It's because you do so much damage when you hit a guy with a mine. that it's kind of a visceral feeling when you do hit a boss with a mine. It's a pretty good feeling. Okay, boss has a lot of attacks coming up soon, so I'd like to get through this fairly soon. Alright, so that is kind of the boss's ultimate attack, which is a white blast. But actually it doesn't fill the screen, so if we did see it coming, we could, you know, kind of position our guys away from the boss so that we could avoid the attack. Okay, and then here, this might be the most difficult stage of the mission. The concept is the same. We want to get rid of the 3 onion guys in the same turn. But they are in kind of a weird... They're in, you know, totally separate parts of the map. So we need to have a very good and clear way to hit all 3 of them at once. First things first, though, we want to get rid of the spritzers. And then there we saw Izanami Zero's Sprite Slayer. And yeah, now it's just about, you know, getting mines on our minesweepers and then taking down the onion guys. And then I find that kind of the best positioning for Pierce characters, so like Apollo in this case, is maybe right next to the top onion. And then that way you can go through the onion aiming down, hit the wall, hit another onion, hit the bottom wall, and then come up and then hit the final onion. So that's one of my favorite places for a Pierce character. For bounce, I would say... That's a tough one. If you could kind of make like a triangle, so if really you were right next to any of the 3 on the inside, you could try to aim for like a triangle, or maybe like a diamond angle, and see if you can get the 3 there. But yeah, really you just got to see where your guys end up at the end of a turn, and then see if you can make it work. And then once the spritzers are gone, there's not a lot for the non-minesweepers to do, except for, you know, hit the robots if they have counterattack to get more mines out, or to grab hearts if your HP is low. And actually, I would say that your chances of losing in this mission, or in this stage rather, are not very high. Just as long as you keep an eye on your HP. And then you also keep an eye on the onions, since they have a high damaging attack. So the one on the lower left number is a 1. If that reaches 0, he'll damage this very much. So I'm not going to even think about you know, taking down all the 3 guys. I'm just going to get rid of the guy in the lower left. Alright, and there is the onions reviving everybody, and then the robots reviving each other. So here I might have a chance with Ashura. I should go for a maybe kind of a diamond. Not quite. Oh well. Alright, I guess I can take this chance to talk about the last 2 members of my team. They were also in my first clear video when I used all Hatcher monsters. And they were the 2 that I felt were the best of those 4 that I used. The first is a Sakamoto Ryoma, Pierce with a no gravity barrier, so it's pretty easy for him to get around. And he does have Wood Slayer, so in a pinch he can do some decent damage against the boss. And then he does have a command strike shot, which can be good. Oh, there's one of the onion's big attacks. I kind of fell asleep at the wheel there and didn't take them out. But thankfully we had enough HP, and then we had a gold heart to pick up, so we were able to recover from that. But yeah, it is important to keep track of the onions. Going back to Ryoma's strike shot, it can be useful. Aha! So there, with Ashura, we did kind of a W angle, and so we were able to take down 3 onions in 1 turn. Okay, and anyway, going back to Ryoma's command strike shot, you can use him to get other guys moving. So if they were holding a mine, you could actually get good damage out of them on that turn, even though Ryoma himself isn't a Minesweeper. And then last character I'm using is Apollo, and then she has a Pierce with a no gravity barrier and Minesweeper. So she's almost the ideal character for this mission. She has a strike shot which reveals all of the boss's weak points on contact, and that's really good against the boss, so that there are more weak points and then more chances to get mines into a boss. Okay, so finally here we are at the boss sequence. And then here Ashura is in great position. We'll use her strike shot. Okay, pretty good. And that was with only one mine. So we see how much damage, how much set damage that strike shot does. And then that strike shot can be used the most effectively, I would say, on the first and second stages, since in both of those stages the boss is pretty near to the wall. So if you can get in between the wall and the boss, then that would be a good time to use Ashura's strike shot. But yeah, story is the same. Take down the Gaia and the Spritzer and the drones, and then get as many mines as we can onto our guys, so we'll leave the mine robot alone, and then do damage to the boss. And no onion guys on this stage, so it's not too difficult. Okay, second boss stage. And then here we have two onion guys, and they're kind of in difficult position. But actually, they will move down in a couple turns, you know, in the empty space on the left and the right. And so if we get rid of the drones there in the center, it's actually pretty easy to take them down on the same turn. So this stage is not too difficult either, I would say. Alright, here come the onions. With Ryoma, we will give Apollo that mine. I see that her turn is next, so she can attack the two onions. Okay, and we just need one onion for each, so we'll just kind of graze them both. We try not to hit them more than once. And there they go, that ends that revival loop. And then we can focus on doing damage to the boss. Okay, whoops, took down the robot. But the boss will revive the robot in a couple turns, so we'll just have to make do until then. Okay, here we can have a look at how much damage Ryoma does without mines. So yeah, that's not bad, you know. Maybe a tenth of the life bar, but yeah, every little bit counts. Alright, so there's the revival. The mine robot comes back, so we can go back to waiting for the mines to come out. Alright, but the boss is shaking. That white blast, the short-range white blast, is coming out soon. So we're going to use Izanami Zero's strike shot, the rebound laser, to take down the boss. And that's pretty decent damage, all things considered. Okay, last stage. Again, we want to get rid of the drones and the Gaia and the Spritzer, while leaving the robots out. And then here I thought was a good time to use Ryoma Strike Shot, because nobody has a mine, so I wouldn't have to worry about somebody taking down a robot by accident. And then I could get rid of some drones and then some little guys as well. Okay, next let's use Apollo Strike Shot, and then we'll have the weak points come out and get a little bit of damage in there with the mine into the weak point. Alright, so I see the robots are going into counterattack mode, so I would like to set off those. Alright, Izanami Zero is going to do what she does best, which is get rid of that spritzer. And we'll pick up the heart too. Alright, with Ryoma, we want to give his mind to somebody. But we can kind of go the long way around through Memento Mori's weak points a few times and get a little bit of damage in there. And get rid of the drone. Okay, with Apollo, we'll get some more hits in there. Pretty good damage. And then Ashura has a bunch of mines. Let's see what we do here with that. Okay. There might have been one hit in the weak point and then a couple hits not. Alright, and then with Izanami Zero, we'll just do kind of a random angle, and that should do it. Alrighty. So, that was Memento Mori. Not too difficult a mission, I would say, as long as you have the patience to manage your mines, and you know about the different roles between your minesweepers and your non-minesweepers. Okay, good luck with that, and we will see you again. Take care.